let's do part two of this. And I'm going to stick with a little bit of an emotional one here. And I want to talk about Mo Salah's comments in Liverpool and just quickly going over that. And we've all seen what Mo Salah posted on Instagram, really kind of harping back to you want to see Liverpool playing heavy metal attacking football. And quite a damning Instagram post from Mo Salah. And look, Andy Robertson's put up some similar ones in recent weeks as well. They're not quite as direct and as scathing, but about standards and everything. Everything's falling apart there. Everything is falling apart, and we'll see. Every season is different, right? Every season is completely different. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't write it. And even if you do really well, as we've seen, and you keep things the same, it doesn't mean that the next season's going to follow it. We know that, right? From us watching football for many years, we know that's going to be the case. So Slot maybe getting these guys out the door and then being able to mould his own thing might be a case where it does kick on and Liverpool are looking like they are potentially going to back him, although it's a little bit of back and forth now. And Xabi Alonso's now gone to Chelsea, which we'll get into in part 3 of the video. But everything's eroded there. Everything has eroded. And I have said this for a while, and I did a little radio show as well Monday morning on Radio Soltar, and I said this. Slot for a while was playing to keep his job, and I get that. And that run where Liverpool kind of got like 9 draws or whatever, went 14 unbeaten, but it was like a lot of draws, whatever the stat was. I understood that part. I then think you kick on from that once you've got it back going. And I think even the players can understand that. They've been there, they've had shit seasons, they've had drop-offs. You need to dig in and get yourselves back up, and then we kick on from there. And I just don't think it's ever kicked on. And I'm still adamant that the signings that they made make sense. The signings that they made make sense. I just don't think how he's wanted to play football now makes sense. And I think he's gone away from his principles. Maybe, again, he's done that just to salvage a season, but he's playing a very, very fine line there with all of that, because ultimately what he's done is he's lost the fans. And I think no matter what Liverpool's data team are saying behind the scenes about, like, he is the man for the job and this is what we think and we can improve on these and these numbers didn't go our way and luck didn't go our way here and there, and they all might be proven to be true if they stick with Arne Slot in the summer and they move ahead with them next season. But I really think in football, when you've lost the fans, I can't remember a time where it's ever been turned around back again. Again, drop that into the comments, please, and let me know if you can remember a time where someone really lost the fan base and managed to turn it around and keep it. I just don't think I've seen it. And I think there needs to be a drastic change in style for him moving into next season that will be that case. And his style of football and his ideology, which we even seen last season when we won the league, which was great, it was a little bit more controlled of that heavy metal football that Mo Salah is talking about, is still technicality, Dutch, almost, that Pep Guardiola, Johan Cruyff style of football that's built around technical type style of players and passing and moving. It's not the DNA of what Liverpool are, and it's not been the DNA of what Liverpool have been in the last 10 years when you've been successful, and you need to move on from those times. But the problem is, that sits right behind you, mate. That sits right behind you. And the high pressing and energetic and getting after teams and not trying to play it safe and do all of this, it's just not the nature of the city. It's just not the nature of the club. And it's worn us down this season. And I'm of the view personally that I don't think we should carry on with him in the summer. But then the question now remains again that I said Xabi Alonso was the main contender. Now he's gone to Chelsea. Who are you going to bring in then? And there's lots of, and I'll do a video on this separately with Liverpool. We'll go through all the clubs kind of at the end of the season once the season's over. But like, there's a lot of mitigating factors in there that you could use as an excuse for everything that's gone on. So you can kind of swing it both ways. But I don't see him turning it around. I hope that he does. But again, I think once you lose the fans, that's kind of it. And I think he's lost himself a little bit this season and what he's trying to do. And he's never had a downtime period. It's always been good. So we'll see if he sticks in the summer, what happens with it. With regards to Salah making the comments, he's got his last game on Sunday. So what does Slot do now? You've got a guy that's leaving, that has undermined you a couple of times this season, that is really kind of commenting on your style of football and how you manage things in that Instagram post that you put up. So do you give him a send-off? Because Salah deserves a send-off. Do I think Salah should put that post out? Nah, I'm not really for that stuff, to be quite honest with you, but it shows how fractured and broken everything is, right? There's not an authority figure there that can kind of stop that coming out. And father time comes to everyone. He's not been the same Mo Salah, and he complimented Arne Slot a lot last season when we won the league for changing his game, and that really brought, which we've seen one of Mo Salah's best ever seasons to give us the league. But relationships break down and things change, and as I said, every season is different. So should Mo Salah do that? No, but I want to see Mo Salah on Sunday, and I want to see him get a send-off on Sunday for all the memories and all the times he's given me. But again, that creates a fracture between him and Arne Slot and him and the manager who's ultimately going to be there next season, and Mo Salah won't be. So how do you play that? Andy Robertson, another one that deserves a send-off on Sunday before we play. Look, Liverpool are still fighting to keep in the Champions League as well, and we need to make sure that that's the absolute bare minimum. And I watched the first half of Aston Villa, and it was horrendous. It was just like, yeah, I've really got no... For a while this season, I think the game where we lose to Brighton after we do well in the Champions League in midweek, I think from that point on the season, I kind of checked out and was like, I know where this is going. This is where it is, and I'm not emotionally and connected and enjoying it as much as I have been. And look, the Scottish League's kind of taken my heart and my entertainment this year anyway, so that's kind of been replaced by that this year. But from a fan, yeah, not happy with it, and I think he needs to go. So let me know what you guys think. Should Mo Salah stay? Sorry, should Mo Salah play on Sunday? Not stay, he's definitely leaving. Should Mo Salah play on Sunday? Should he start? Does Arne Slot have to start him even though he's going to be the manager next season? Or is he going to make a statement? And is he not going to play him? And that's going to be even more chaos because I think the fans are going to want to see him. So he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. You're going to have to play a guy that's kind of really undermined your authority. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think on all things Liverpool. And again, like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video.